All right, this is me processing 2021. I remember as a teenager, I've never been the brave one. I was the quiet, shy, nice kid that all the adults loved because I never gave any problems. I was the one who's too afraid to do something out of the ordinary, especially if there's a chance of getting in trouble. But I would always look at those brave ones at school or even in movies and be fascinated by them. Those that are not afraid to speak their mind, those that are not afraid to ask more questions even when the questions seemed foolish. They seemed so free. I still am more of an introvert. I tend to be a little bit more hesitant when it comes to speaking up or asking more questions. In unfamiliar settings, I am more quiet and shy. I did not grow up with cameras at home. I actually started storytelling only like 2 years ago. And so for me, sharing my thoughts, showing my life, recording myself in front of the camera, processing in front of the camera, this is very much out of my comfort zone. I can keep going with all the reasons for why I'm not the person to share on this platform, but this is my step towards bravery and learning to trust God in new things. I want to be the person that's courageous. I want to be the person that is not afraid to ask questions, knows my worth, and knows my identity. But that kind of freedom, I can only find in Jesus. And so becoming who I'm really meant to be means going deeper into knowing who Jesus is. This year of 2021, I think that's when I decided to go full force after creating and storytelling. And so this year was definitely full of challenges, but challenges that I voluntarily took on. And just in general, I feel like this year I had permission to dream more and be spontaneous. But I wanted to make this video about 5 things that I've been learning this year. The first one is vulnerability. I love the concept of vulnerability so much. I think it's so beautiful, but it's also one of those values that requires so much courage and bravery. It's opening your heart. It's showing your true self with the possibility of not being accepted or welcomed. It's showing up. It's choosing to not believe the lie that you're not enough the way you are. Usually the fear of rejection is what makes us want to stay hidden. I know I've done that. That fear just makes me feel so weak and insecure. But when I know that God loves me and there's never a slight chance of Him ever rejecting me, then why am I afraid of people? Okay, next one. Take life less seriously. Not good enough, fear of failure, desire to be in control, desire to be perfect or the best. Those things can really suck out the joy out of life. Perfect is boring anyways. What I'm trying to say is I realize I've been putting unnecessary pressure and expectations on myself. The pressure of getting it all right and perfect, believing the lie that there is no time and no room for mistakes. I don't have it all figured out. And honestly, I don't think I will anytime soon. There's no one to impress anyways. And the only one who's worth to be impressed by us is not impressed by the things we achieve, but only by our love and trust in Him. Well, that makes it simple, doesn't it? Knowing that my worth is not in the way I look, things I've achieved, or what I have. Integrity. The quality of being honest and having strong moral values. No compromise, no shortcuts, being real, being honest, staying true to yourself and your values. I've just been thinking about this value a lot and how actually hard it is to be that kind of person and how cool are those people that are integrous. Integrity leads to security. It leads to a life of no fear, but confidence. Those who know me, and I mentioned this before, I've always wanted to learn to be a confident person. And so trying to learn what that looks like from the Bible, integrity is actually one of the biggest ingredients for it. Community. I honestly can say I would not be where I am without my community and without my friendships. I tend to swirl out a lot and lose confidence and doubt my work and my growth pretty often, but I have faithful friends that remind me who I am, remind me what God says about me. They believe in me more than I believe in myself most of the time. So with community, one thing that I've learned is don't be afraid to reach out to people, don't be afraid to ask for help. We weren't meant to figure out our own lives on our own anyways. Always learn new things, always be a work in progress, always stay curious. I get really embarrassed and very much terrified when I don't do my best work, or when I fail. It crushes me. I want to hide and never see anyone ever again. But then when I think about it, I realize how ridiculous that is. We all hate failure. Sometimes it makes us look like a fool. But then, who cares? It teaches you humility and patience and steadfastness. The process of learning is beautiful and clumsy and terrifying and fun. Being a work in progress and staying curious is a really good place to be in. I read it somewhere that curious people are the most interesting people out there. Those kind of people always get better at what they do. It's easy to talk to them and they never get bored. I turned 25 in 2021, and when I was younger, I used to think that 25 is a year when I'll have it all figured out. All 25-year-olds seem like such adults, and 25 is just like a solid number, you know? But I still feel like such a child, and like I still have so much more to learn. I think at first that number terrified me, and again, I put lots of expectation on myself, but there's so much grace and so much time, and we're not in a hurry, we're not in a rush. I'm very much stoked for 2022.